Hey everyone, today I am building Rhiannon Radical's little bunker that she has here in the edge of the Bedrock Streets district. She is a paranoid sim, and she will also be functioning as the politician in the Oasis Springs rotational play that I will be starting once everyone's houses and sims are created fully. Rhiannon is a little bit of an odd duck. I kind of imagine that she is from Strangerville and that she grew up with all of that sort of weirdness going on. So she has seen, ever since she was really young, the kind of things that living in a world just full of secrets can get you. And she was probably influenced by the mayor there when she was little, who worked so hard to cover up the secrets, but she really wants to be something different. She wants to bring all of the secrets in Oasis Springs to light and make sure that everyone knows that there are indeed aliens living among us. So that is kind of the inspiration that I had behind her and the way that I wanted her, what I wanted her build to kind of reflect. So obviously there's just a little shack here. I imagine it's like a utility shed, and that if you were looking at this, you would think, oh, this is just like maybe some way for people to service one of the utilities in the area. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, why the landscaping's so nice, but hey, a utility shed, and you don't realize what's beneath. So the fun thing about having underground builds, like bunkers and things, is that you don't have to make it look pretty or figure out roofing. You can just build like in the entire lot, take up the entire lot with all these basement levels and things, which I think is really fun and very freeing. So basically, if she ever wanted to have children on this lot, she could have like 1,000 of them, because there is just limitless space below ground, even though this is kind of a small lot to begin with. Now, I really loved landscaping this, I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of fun. So as you can see, when I wanted to landscape it, I put out all of the plants that I wanted to use, more or less, and just like laid them out. And then I used that as the palette of what I was going to be placing for the pathway, which I wanted to look somewhere between overgrown and intentional, because yes, this is supposed to look kind of like a utility shed, but I wanted it to be a well cared for utility shed. Here I'm putting all of the posters all around for her, just her Strangerville background. And if you go in, you're not going to see too much besides posters and things. But you will see immediately that ladder going down into who knows what. Well, if you go down the ladder, you'll see pretty clearly that it's Rhiannon's private space. But I like the fact that even though she wants to bring all of these secrets to life, like her life is kind of a secret. Like she has this entire house below ground. I obviously used the Strangerville bathtub in the landscaping. I love this item for Strangerville and Oasis Springs, as well as lower class areas. I'm not sure if this is true in other countries, probably not. But in the United States, especially where I grew up in upstate New York, there would often be people that would use this kind of found landscaping, I guess you could say. Because basically, if you're not very wealthy, you will not end up with the ability to dispose of your large appliances and things very quickly, like tractor tires and bathtubs and things like that. So I grew up seeing a lot of things like this around, so I really like to put them in my builds when I have the opportunity to. And I thought that all of these Oasis Springs builds were kind of a good opportunity to showcase that. I mean, not all of them. I promise I'm not going to put a bathtub in every single lot, even if I might want to. But yeah, so I hate how large a lot of the EA lights are. There are some that are really appropriately sized, and some that are too large, and some that are way too tiny, which I don't get. Like the super subtle saucer light, I understand that they did that because people really wanted that, but a light of that extremely small size is not something that I have seen before in houses. Usually a ceiling light is the size of the regular saucer light, but to each their own. So I am just getting this basic layout down here, and I wanted to use obviously a ton of Strangerville stuff because of Rhiannon's background. So I pulled out all of the items that I kind of wanted to use and decided to worry about how exactly to place everything later. I love using the lava lamps because it also has this green tinge to the lighting down here, which I think is really neat. And I like that for Rhiannon's special space. It's a little calming. Because she is goth, I did get her the Spooky Day wallpapers. I love the Spooky Day wallpapers for feature walls, and especially in some of the kids' bedrooms. And I imagine if Alice Leet has any children, Alice is going to be the programmer who lives in the haunted graveyard house. I think that I might give one of her children like the ghost wall. I think that would be really fun. Let's see. Yeah, I changed these counters a couple of times because I can't decide the color scheme I want to use. Rhiannon's favorite colors are green and black, which is unfortunately similar to another of the Strangerville, another of the Oasis Springs houses that I have done, but I didn't want to change her favorite colors just to suit my want to have a different style house, so I think it ends up working out fine. I wanted to use a lot of modern and clean things for her, as well as using this very bright green pairing with the black so that it had that more gothic effect to it. And I think it ended up pretty interesting. I like her house, but obviously it's just a tiny house. It's not really very much to start with or anything very in-depth, even though it was pretty fun to build the bunker. I went back and forth with this house a little bit, trying to decide exactly how I wanted the layout to go, but it's pretty simple. There's not really too much to say about that, and yeah, I do like it. If you want a fun story about things that have been going on in my life personally, just to fill the time while I put in these countertops and cabinets and do the bathroom, which is the most boring room of the house, I realized recently that I had my microphone backwards. Yes, I had been recording 6, 8 videos with my microphone backwards. I was like, this is definitely a front directional mic, right? It's definitely the way you should be doing it. It's like a newscaster, right? No, my microphone is, I can't remember what it's called anymore, but I need to have it turned in a specific way for it to actually pick up noise. So hopefully the sound quality will be better in the future. We'll see. My real hope is that it will stop picking up the fun lawnmowers and motorcycles that go by outside with such frequency. Yes, I'm adding in a hamper here. As you can see, there is not a a washing machine or dryer on the premises. This is again to take advantage of the laundromat that I plan to put in town. That's going to have to be one of the next couple of builds that I do. I'm really looking forward to it, but it is fairly like a simplistic build, so I just haven't done it yet. It's going to be pretty straightforward. I think that I'm going to have it run as a store so that it will sell the laundry detergent, and then you'll buy a thing of laundry detergent at the store and use the washing machine while you're there. And I think that that should be a pretty good way to run things. I'm not entirely certain who I'm going to give ownership of the laundromat because I don't really want any of them to have their main source of income just be, laundry. But I think I might just stick one of them with it, and if they make a little side cash from it, who cares, because it's not going to be especially lucrative, because it is really just serving as something for my other Sims to use rather than as a source of income for a business owner. So here I was doing these last final touches of putting on a couple of paintings and finding skill items, because I wanted to place skill items around so that she would have plenty of things to do. So she has the Moschino bookcase, which is my favorite bookcase, and the comfy looking chair from Snowy Escape. And then I'm doing these last touches here with landscaping, terrain paint, and lighting. I really have a hard time with the terrain paint sometimes because I have the terrain replacements by, it's K something. I'll try to stick it in the description box if I remember. But I have those terrain replacements, so matching the terrain paint is pretty hard because it doesn't match the picture. I wish there had been a way for the thumbnails to update as well, but there was not, I'm guessing, because they were not updated. And it's kind of frustrating trying to do the terrain paint because of that. And again, going back in with plants because I can't do a single build without planting it up. And even though Rhiannon doesn't really seem like the type to keep a lot of plants, so that's really the reason why I gave her mostly succulents, because I thought that she would want to keep those, and they also don't require a lot of direct sunlight, so they would probably function pretty well in her bunker. And yeah, I gave her the postcards. I'm thinking that she's going to spend a lot of time on her own in her little basement room spying on people for her politician career, and putting bugs on them and listening in and having pen pals out in the wild. She's kind of a loner without being a loner sim. She's just a weird, strange kind of sim, and I like that. I like that she is a very unique personality. Here I was deciding that I should have it be off the grid, because if she's really so paranoid, she's not going to want to be on the grid. She's going to want to have her own energy and try to keep people away from her place as much as possible. And I was adding the pots to the terrain, and we are just about done, I believe. I'm just going to do a couple more touches of the lights, and it looks gorgeous at night. I really love it, especially with those, are they mountains in the background? And then I stuck in that sort of the Batu thing as a street light so that it would look like she found some spaceship parts and kind of cobbled it together for a street light. Yeah, I like this build, and I think it's pretty unique and fun, and it suits her as a person, and I really love building for specific sims, so I think it worked out pretty well. I wanted to put greenery on the outside of this house, as I often do, but I eventually realized that it was not the smartest idea because it's supposed to just look like a utility shed, not like somebody's house. So I kind of gave up on it, but I think it still worked out pretty okay. I was also considering windows, and then I was like, no, it's a shed, leave it alone. It has a glass roof, it's okay. Yeah, and then I left it at that found metal bit that came from Eco Lifestyle. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I really liked making it, and I am going to have another one of these next week. And in the meantime, I'm going to have a couple other videos on over the next couple of days as well. I am posting currently on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you had an awesome day. Bye!